Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Coupe de Villa podcast. I'm Tommy and I've got Noah joining myself from Melbourne and Scott Cooper from WA, awaiting Troy to join as usual. Late. All right, well, we're just going to recap that shit show of a performance by our beloved Villa over the weekend. Not a good way to start the weekend, obviously. Saturday morning for us Melburnians. Who knows for WA? No one cares. We'll get into it after this.
Hey, well, thanks, Tommy, for doing my intro for me. That was very refreshing, something a bit different. But we are talking about the game on Friday night. We'd come off the Wolves' absolute shit show last week where we crumbled and threw away 2-goal lead. And a lot of people were angry on social media in the week with the way Smith handled that game and the players and the selections and the formations and all these sort of things. And we went in with the same 11, the same formation. Guys, what did you think about that when you saw that, Noah? Did you expect changes?
I honestly did. Obviously, I think the formation needed to change, which did at halftime. Believe it or not, it actually helped the game. But 2-0 down at halftime, obviously not what you want to see, and no real desire to change tactics until the game's probably over.
Well, that's it. I mean, the one thing I do remember us talking about a fair bit in last week's podcast was we just wanted to see a reaction this week from the team, and we couldn't have seen a more lackluster first 45 minutes. And Tommy, I really expected the likes of McGinn, Mings, Martinez, the sort of leaders of the team to really kind of, I don't know, show us something that last week hurt them, and they wanted to respond. But we didn't see that at all. We saw a piss poor effort, really, all round.
Yeah. And again, I'm not trying to reference a dark time for Villa, but it almost reminds us of the time where Lescott, where we kind of went down and he goes, it's a weight off our shoulders. We want to see some fight. We're rewinding back, 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks ago to when we just beat United. It's been quite some time since we took a win away from Old Trafford, and it's just been downhill ever since. We're buzzing, full of energy. I mean, Leon Bailey's back now. And again, I think there's a lot over-reliance on him. We definitely need our core to step up. And then, they've got to really be in the ears of players. I feel pretty bad for Emi Martinez, keeper of the year last season. And I don't think it's his fault that we're probably leaking so many goals. And he probably wanted that win against Arsenal more than anyone. Again, it comes back to Smith. Why did we wait till halftime to make changes? It's not the first time that he's either making the wrong subs, he's leaving it too late. He never does it early enough. If you're not seeing what you want in the early minutes, just drag a player off, change the system, introduce something new. That's why he's being paid the money he is.
Yeah, well, I mean, he could have made a change after 20 minutes, half an hour, the way things were going, but he did make the change at halftime, brought Bailey on, went to the 4-3-3. But Noah, I mean, Arsenal aren't exactly, a top team at the moment. They've had a difficult start of the season. Defensively, they're very vulnerable. We saw them against Palace on Monday night, throw away a 1-0 lead. They were 2-1 down, managed to get something in the end. But I really expected us to at least, go at them and give them a few issues. And at halftime, the expected goals, Arsenal 2.18, Villa 0.00. That tells the whole story, doesn't it?
Yeah, big time. And you can kind of tell by the first 20 minutes how this game was going to go unless we made some serious changes. I mean, I think they scored about the 23rd minute, but they could have scored 3 or 4 in that first 20 minutes. And we just didn't look like we wanted to be there. Didn't look like we were there. McGinn was not the same player we've seen for the last couple of months. They look flat. It looks weird. I mean, Arsenal coming off the shorter break than us, and it looked like that we needed more of a break. But obviously, the one good thing coming out of the game was obviously Ramsey getting his first Premier League goal, and it was a screamer. And after that, we kind of looked all right. Watkins almost scored. Well, should have scored, I should have said, from that one on the line. Created a few more chances, and I think
Buendia had a great chance.
Yeah, he did. Chances came, under this new system, but obviously, I don't know. I don't see Buendia as being a central player. I just don't think he's good enough to be central. I think that's why Grealish went out wide, because obviously I just don't think he was strong enough to play in the middle. So, changes are needed. And I think Smith has to make a really tough call to pick one of the strikers and just got to stick him up front, play 4-3-3.
Yep, I agree with you on that one. I mean, another thing that was very disheartening was sort of the lack of any kind of um, cohesiveness or organization at the back, especially with the set pieces. I mean, the first goal for Arsenal, Thomas Partey. I don't know who was supposed to mark him on that one. It seemed like McGinn was on him, but it felt like Mings should have been on him. And after that, they were having words, and it was very kind of open, and everyone was watching two of our leaders
Have a go at each other.
yeah, and it didn't seem like anyone knew whose man it was at all.
But they both ducked. If you watch that goal back, the only person that actually jumped for the ball for Villa was Danny Ings.
Yeah,
And, McGinn ducked, Tyrone Mings ducked. And only just got over the line. I think Emmy misjudged it maybe and just missed the ball.
He was disappointed. I think he felt he should have saved it.
Yeah, but I just don't think two leaders of the team should be ducking that. They'd really be like, if they get hurt, they'd probably saved a goal.
And that's it. And then after that, he had a couple of other free headers. The same sort of corner, whipped into the near post. He made the run, and again, it was McGinn who couldn't get anywhere near him. It was quite baffling. I mean, we've heard all this talk about Austin McPhee and the set pieces and how we have had some joy this season from scoring at the other end. And now it seems like when it comes to a corner or a free kick to the opposition, we look like we're going to concede, 9 times out of 10. Tommy, do you see anything there?
Yeah, agreed. We've probably been leaking a fair few too many goals, over the past few game weeks. And yeah, it's just funny. Just the complexion of the team's completely changed. We went from these clean sheet magnets at home, and last year we dominated Arsenal at the Emirates, and now all of a sudden this is not the same Arsenal team. They're not a top 6, let alone 8 side. Just it's really disheartening. That's for sure. You don't know, like, where do we even start? And feel pretty bad for Jacob Ramsey. Gets his first Villa goal ever, which I'm sure we're probably going to tap into shortly. And
yeah,
it's just not the scene that we wanted to see him score it in.
No, it wasn't. I mean, and the big reason for that was, of course, we went 2-0 down before halftime, just on halftime. The penalty, absolute shocking sort of all-round decision for me in many ways, because not only was it just not a foul, he gets the ball first, he makes the slightest contact on Lacazette. Lacazette, goes down, it seems like a week after he's actually touched.
He was doing it all half, though, as well, Lacazette. It wasn't just in the penalty box. He was flopping all game.
The one where Mings got booked, he took a bit of a dive for that one too. But as the ball gets whipped into the box, Lacazette does that thing where Target goes for the header and he backs in, as the forward, and Target ends up, sort of flipping on his back and landing on the floor. That's a foul. We've seen them given. Harry Kane, famously, I think the end of last season had 2 or 3 of them where he was doing that, and they started cracking down on that sort of thing. But on this occasion, even with a VAR, that gets allowed. And then the penalty itself, well, I mean, we were told at the start of the season that any kind of minimal contact in the box was not going to be a penalty anymore. And, we saw that happening in the first few weeks, but now it just seems like they've gone back to, the old way of just any kind of touch is a penalty. And and then even after all of that, we've gone into 2 minutes of injury time. The penalty is the last action of the half. It's saved by Martinez, and Aubameyang puts the ball in. And, it should have been half time, surely.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just the way it's going for us, I guess. So, when everything's going bad for you, these sort of things happen. And at 2-0, it felt like there was absolutely zero way back at halftime. Yeah. But, we did go on, and we Smith made the change, Bailey on for Twanzebe. We went 4-3-3. Buendia was moved out wide. He was
he was still central. Yeah, it was Watkins went out wide.
Yeah, it was Watkins out wide with Ings and Bailey on the right. And we looked far more dangerous with that. And then obviously Ramsey came on as well, did very well in his sort of half an hour on the pitch, scored a great goal, and it's good to see him get off the mark. And that's the only positive thing really coming from this game. But it begs the question, because Smith said after the game, Tommy, that it wasn't the system that lost us the match. Well, if that's the case, why did he change the system at halftime?
Agreed. And I think the problem is, what is the system? We've chopped and changed lineups. This clearly wasn't the formation we went into the games with last year. And I don't think he knows his strongest starting 11. No. And that's probably not a good thing. And yeah, a lot of people have been calling for Ings and Watkins. Who's going to score more goals? Or we're looking at 30, 35 goal partnership. They're both Liverpool goal machines. Unfortunately, it's just not going to work. Second of all, Buendia probably isn't good enough to start. Not going to lie. He's had some chances, but you get remunerated based on conversion. If he's not assisting and he's not scoring, he's not really creating either. And for that price tag, we brought him in to create. He was his absolute assist machine at Norwich, and I think championship player of the season. And again, it spoke volumes, the fact that Norwich were willing to let him go going into this season. He was probably their talisman player.
Yeah.
And just don't understand. It's like, where's the structure? I still think it comes down to Smith. You pick that starting 11, you pick the subs, you've got to wear it. And it didn't work last week. It didn't work the week before. It didn't really change a whole lot. If it really, it's like you might change a number 6 position. That's not going to win you games. We need to revert to, I think, either one forward, and he's going to have to make that. He's going to have to make that choice, Ings or Watkins. Personally, I'm picking Ings, only because he scored more goals. He's brought here to score, and that's what we're lacking at the moment, goals. And look, I just think Ollie's probably been struggling too. We need his offensive pressure, and people probably slate me, for saying drop Ollie, but we've got to score goals, Scott. That's how you're winning it.
Well, I think that he can play on that left-hand side or the right-hand side, wherever.
Agreed.
And he's going to give us that defensive pressure there as well. And I actually thought he got more into the game when he moved out there.
I was going to say
in the second half.
Got more space.
Yeah. And he gets the ball and he can sort of, get his head up and, be facing the goal and run at defenders. And I think in those situations, he is, he's handy. He's effective.
Yeah. I have him and Ings on, by all means, on at the same time, but not two up front. That combination's not working. And I think Smith's just got to the point he's forcing it so much that, it's one loss and then another one. And then, we have another one go against us. And, not saying we're going to lose next week, but if it's 3 in a row and he doesn't change anything, you're not expecting anything different result.
And I did hear something on Twitter, so I'm not sure if it's 100% true, but
post-match tunnel.
Yeah. Yes.
I heard it as well.
I didn't hear it.
There apparently Morgan Sanson went off at Dean Smith after the final whistle and gave him the finger.
And there's a meme. Of a little kid, giving Smith the finger.
Really?
I heard another thing in the tunnel was McGinn and Mings have gone head to head in the tunnel, having a go at each other, and Courtney Horse was also involved. So there's a bit of turmoil going on from what I heard post-match.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, considering the way they were having a go at each other on the pitch.
If Sanson is fit to start, he should be starting. He had a brilliant game against Chelsea, and again, it's probably it's not a one game to judge his performance, but they had an almost full strength team, and he really created. He won balls. He can score. We've seen him do it for Marseille. He's a really handy little player. Again, maybe Smith has something against French players. Basically exiled Gilbert for no reason.
Yeah, well, he did. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, in that sort of game, bring off Buendia, move McGinn into that more forward of the three, put Sanson in there. That makes us more attacking and probably more solid as well. Like, it gives us a bit more passing ability with Sanson, so we can maybe keep the ball a bit better. Because, I mean, honestly, I watch the game and sometimes I think, do we actually pass the ball at training? Like it is.
I know Traore doesn't, that's for sure.
It's shocking at times. We can't find a shirt. Doesn't matter what color we're wearing, blue, white, claret and blue. It doesn't matter. We just can't find each other. And yeah, it's so frustrating, especially at the back. It seems to happen so slowly. Like the ball goes, from Twanzebe to Mings to Cash to, back into Twanzebe, back over to Target. And whereas you see other teams do it and it's quick, yeah, and when the player gets the ball after the ball has been switched, he can get his head up, he can look, he's got everything in front of him.
And he runs. They run at players, they go quickly.
Exactly. But for us, the ball gets to them and they're already closed down because
it's just too slow. The other teams are just going to start pushing up and we're going to panic. And for me, I'm going to target Mings. Yeah, I'm just going to say he's always taking that extra second or two longer. I feel like all the centre backs passing, he's the slowest one with passing ability.
Yeah, I mean, I think
unreal.
That's the one area of his game that isn't elite. He's an elite sort of leader. He's got great presence, great sort of authority. He can win a ball. He can he's physical. He's a pretty good reader of the game. But he does have that mistake in him because he does look a little bit uncoordinated and a little bit slow at times.
That's just his style, though. But it doesn't work to his benefit, unfortunately.
No, it doesn't.
No. And unfortunately, we just got to live with that because he's not getting dropped. He's the captain,
No.
And I don't think anyone is suggesting he should be dropped.
No, absolutely
not at all.
It's definitely an issue, and I think also with the three at the back, the Konsa gets pushed wide right quite a bit, and we don't have him in that guts where I think he's effective, more effective for us. The amount of times last season when we played at the four at the back, he'd be doing last ditch tackles, and him and Mings sort of cover each other a bit better there. Yeah. When Mings makes a mistake, he very often stepped in and cleaned it up. He can't do that from that sort of wide of the three, the right of the three. So I definitely think we've got to go back to four at the back, and then that I think you get better end product from Cash and Target as well, because they can overlap. They get a bit more space to attack. When they're playing in the five, they're very much overrun over there. It's very often two against one. And that's especially what Arsenal did. They killed us in the wide areas.
They did. Yeah. Smith Rowe and Saka had days out. Smith Rowe was very impressive. I always thought he was going to. We had 2 bids rejected for him. He's always going to have a day out. So
yeah. I mean, he got a bit fortunate with his goal coming off Mings onto the post, but that was just poor defending from the start. That third goal, again, Mings is in the middle of the pitch, and there's no other Arsenal player anywhere near Smith Rowe. So I don't know what he's doing in the middle of the pitch. He should come across and try and deal with Smith Rowe, and he doesn't. He kind of thinks that McGinn's going to get back and get in front of him. It's, again, poor communication, and it's a half-hearted sort of turned his back, block challenge. It was really disappointing stuff. And, you think to yourself, all right, Arsenal are killing us down the wings. They got 2 against 1 out there, but surely that means we've got an extra man in the midfield, right? In the middle of the pitch. But did it look like we did? No. At no point did we have control of the ball. No. Lacazette was sort of dropping in on Douglas Luiz. He had a poor game, I thought.
I think everyone did, though.
Yeah.
I can't really sit here and go, someone played well. I mean, I guess Ramsey might be the only I
was about to say that,
that came on and actually made a good impact.
Yeah.
Leon Bailey
as well.
He did a lot of good things and a lot of bad things as well, I think it just wasn't a good day out at all.
No. Definitely wasn't. And it's West Ham on next Sunday. So
tough game.
Back at Villa Park. They've started the season well. They've had a few good victories lately. I watched them against Everton last week, and they were very impressive. Looked pretty strong all over the pitch. Antonio is a handful. Souček and Declan Rice in the midfield is pretty much an elite sort of midfield. we're gonna find it tough. I don't think we've beaten West Ham since we've been promoted back to the Premier League. So
Wow.
Yeah, no, I don't think we have. Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be a tough one, but we need again a reaction, at least something. I don't know where it's going to come from. Hopefully, a change of system. Leon Bailey from the start, perhaps. Do you think? What do you think is your predicted lineup, Tommy, going into the West Ham match?
4-2-3-1.
Yep.
Ollie out wide.
Yep.
If Traore is fit to start playing, I'd love to see Sanson in, next to Dougie. I'm going to go, Ings up front, and who can we put behind him? I mean, like maybe even McGinn. I'd push McGinn further up, and I'd have Dougie and Sanson or Dougie and Ramsey playing there, because Ramsey's a ball winner. So something different. Again, standard back four. Conser, Mings, Target, Cash, Martinez keeper as usual. So I don't know. What about you guys?
Yeah, I think it would be something like that. I think probably Leon Bailey will start.
Yeah.
Yes, Leon. Sorry. Yeah.
I'd probably go a little bit different though. My opinion. Smith only plays 4-3-3. It's going to be a 4-3-3. We all know that. So you got your normal suspects out down back, and then I honestly think he's got to go back to the midfield that worked. Ramsey, Louise, McGinn. It worked. It was really good. Then put Buendia out right, where he plays well, got all his goal contributions for Norwich. That's where he plays his best football. Put Bailey out left, who can play left wing, and then Ings or Watkins doesn't really bother me, who's plays centre forward. But I think that's what it's got to be.
Who are you picking though, Noah? You got to pick one, Ings or Watkins.
This season I've got to go with Ings. He scored more goals.
Yep, that's it. Love Ollie, but he's struggling. And then I think we'll take him 8 games last year or so before he went on a goal streak. So if you can replicate that, we're looking pretty good.
I would go something a little bit more radical, just because I think we need something. And I think whenever I feel this way about Villa and we're going through a tough time, I always go back to what I think is one of our biggest strengths, and that's the youth. So I would bring in Carney Chukwuemeka and for Buendia, and I would play him and Douglas Luiz as the sort of 2 holding midfielders, McGinn as the more forward of the 3, move him up, and then I would play Bailey, Philogene Bidace, Watkins as my front 3, just to give us at least something, a bit of pace, a bit of something, a bit of energy. I don't know. I think Chukwuemeka has been, whenever he played against Newcastle. We won that game. He's played in some of the other cup games, and
he started against Brentford. He did really well.
Yeah,
in that
Brentford.
Game
Brentford is the game I'm thinking of. Yeah, Brentford. He played well in that game, and he looks just like someone who can pass the ball. That's one of his strengths, So I would like to see him, maybe Sanson. I wouldn't be worried either way. Like someone like that, someone who's more of a passer, because at the moment we just can't pass the ball. We can't keep the ball.
Yeah.
No, we need Sanson. Sanson's a very versatile player. He does it forward. He does it going defensively as well.
Yeah.
You reckon Smith will start him after the finger dilemma?
Do we know that's true? We don't. No one really knows that's true. I mean,
if it's on football memes, it's up there, Noah.
Yeah, I know. But the season we just stayed up, people were saying that
Smithy got fingered.
Smith and Terry. Apparently they were going at it, and then JT put on his Insta saying that never happened.
No one likes to get fingered, right?
No,
especially without consent.
I wouldn't say no one. Not me, obviously, Scott. But just
no. Maybe we can get a new thing, but like a finger one, yeah.
Rock on, dude, rock on.
Yeah, if Sanson scores, I want him to see it do as his goal celebration.
He will score. He is a baller. When we signed him, I was so impressed.
And that hamstring injury was actually unfortunate. I saw the way he was tackled. It wasn't his fault. And then it was like, he's a sick note. He's injured. I'm like, mate, he's just come a freaking hamstring injury. Leave the guy alone.
Yeah. No, it's he hasn't really had much of a chance.
What about Traore? He scores, he assists, he can create. I feel like Birdie Traore doesn't get enough love. He had a good year.
No, I do love him, but it kind of feels like we're overloaded in those positions. I mean,
we're playing plays. Yeah, he can do this, but at the end of the day, Traore has proven in the play.
He has done it. You're right.
All right, Buendia is great on the right. He's not performing. Traore's got the artillery and he can perform.
I would definitely go for Traore over Buendia at the moment.
Yeah.
At the moment, yeah, I'd probably agree.
And I mean, something like an Ings, Bailey on the left, Traore on the right could work.
Could work,
and
definitely.
McGinn's got to be in the middle. I've seen his pings on both feet.
Yeah,
it's insane.
McGinn's a baller. We know that.
Yeah, why wouldn't you play him in that role where he has a bit more license to go forward?
I just think we need to improve on, if we can aim for top. And look, it's still so long to go. Just 3 losses in a row, people giving up hope. I mean, it's scary.
We could easily win the next 4.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's scary that, like we are technically closer to relegation than we are to the top 4, top 6 based on points. And it's kind of scary.
Yeah, I mean, look at Watford. They lose 5-0 to Liverpool, look like the worst team in the league. Then they beat Everton 5-2 last night, and they're on the same points as us.
Yep, go figure.
So,
and also the beast is back at Crystal Palace. Benteke's been buzzing there.
I know.
Should we have signed him on a cut price deal? I would have loved to have him at least come off the bench. I mean, he's keeping Edouard, their talisman.
Yeah, I always loved Benteke, and I would have had him back at any point, even when everyone was saying he was finished, because you never know. Sometimes it's just a club, a player, it's the right fit, and he really kept us up those years, and whether he left for Liverpool or not, but for then they were a bigger club at the time, and they were going places. We were on the way down, and we were so over relying on him. He probably overstayed at Villa. Let's be real. The other standout player is that Maxwell Cornet for Burnley. He's looking a baller. He's a left back but scoring for fun.
Yeah, good player.
Scored a good goal last night. Yeah.
Mum bringing in some fruit. I'm like, no, not yet.
I don't know.
Not yet, nah.
All right. Well, we'll probably wrap it up, because I don't like talking about defeats, but it is good to talk about Villa with you boys.
It's like, what do we talk about?
I know.
Oh, wait. Let's wait. Just before anyone slates us, yes, we give full credit to Arsenal, the great team, because we got slated by Wolves fans last week. You Arsenal, don't hammer us on the comment thread. Make sure you subscribe if you do that.
No, we appreciate your all the Wolves fans for your comments last week. It must be really hard to type them with your 3-fingered hands, but you did well. And we appreciate all the support from no, that's only tongue in cheek. We love you guys. You're not really our rivals anyway.
They hate us. We don't really hate them.
Exactly. That's
everyone but other Midlands rival clubs. So.
They're like a ginger stepbrother. We don't really, we just beat on them occasionally, and they're not really anything to worry about. But
can I give a question to the viewers today, Tommy?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Scotty. Can I do the thing? So with our upcoming games, we got West Ham, Southampton, Brighton, and Palace. Expectations. How many points are we getting?
That's a great question.
I just want to hear, how many points are we going to get from these 4?
Just go through them again.
So we have West Ham at home.
Yep.
I believe it's Southampton at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that might be away. And then we have Brighton and Palace.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go 8.
I think 8 or 9.
I think we'll draw with West Ham, and Palace are looking energised under Vieira. Let's be real.
I can't see us getting much more than 6, to be honest.
Unlike Scott. If we get a win against West Ham, I'm keeping track of
West Ham's what I'm worried about. I think.
Yeah,
I'm worried about West Ham and Brighton, to be honest.
I think, but to be honest, West Ham's goals haven't been coming from their front third. It's like the midfield scoring, and Bowen's been on a little scoring spree. But
yeah, he's one I wish we got instead of Buendia.
Oh, Villa fan as well. Scary. That's what you want. You want players that are like bleeding for the club.
Bring in Joe Lolly.
I was going to say Joe Lolly's playing.
Is he still playing?
I think he's still at Forest,
yeah.
He's looking slow as shit now. He's not the same.
Yeah.
Man,
what about the Danish bloke that we were linked to? Remember we never signed him?
We've been linked to a few, mate.
No, the good one.
Oh, Damsgaard from Sampdoria. Yeah, he would be good.
Yeah.
He would be very good. But there's plenty that
for me, Buendia's dominated. He's done well in the Prem before, so I just find it funny that he struggled to adapt.
Got to put him in position. Got to put him in his position.
Okay, he's always going to stand out at Norwich. They're all trash.
No, but he's got to play in his right position, man. He's got to play his right position. I reckon outright he's going to be really good for us.
Yeah, in that midfield three, he's
too weak. He gets bodied.
Yeah,
and also see Cash. He's declared for Poland. He was at the embassy.
Yeah,
I saw that.
He's got nice misses. Good on him.
No, it's good. He's
the Polish legend that he is.
Polish Cafu.
He'll be playing against England soon.
Yeah, good on him. Well done. Yeah, that's right. A lot of these players have got to make that decision. I'd like to see Concert declare for Portugal because I think they'll have more success in England. Let's be real.
But Joel, that means though, if England are playing Poland, Grealish on the left, Cash at right back.
Oh,
exactly.
That'd be great.
ACL, Grealish gone. Yeah.
So after last week, when Tommy did the Smith out on the screen, are you still on that train, Tommy? Have you changed your mind?
Well, I mean, Scott, has Smith listened? No, he hasn't.
He hasn't really, has he?
I reckon he will this week.
But honestly, I think there was a few comments, one from Coxie saying that we all need to calm down a bit last week.
We do this. It's purely for fun. We're not fickle or anything. It's just gives us a bit of
I believe the quote was we need to calm the farm. And
calm the farm.
I can confirm he was very happy with that. First time he's ever used that. So, yeah, very happy.
What's he mean? By the way, what's he saying? Are we a bit too hard on the team?
I think
Are we a bit too hard on players that make our yearly income in a week? Jeez.
It's true.
Maybe.
That's a pretty good point.
Okay, it should be if you lose, deactivate your social medias for a week. Although I will give Mings credit, he does respond to a lot of that.
He does.
On Twitter. Yeah, but everybody makes the same mistake the next week. I'm like, mate.
Yeah. No,
it's kick it out.
I mean, I don't think I personally am Smith out.
No. Look,
I don't think any of us are.
No one's really Smith out. It's just
yeah. But if we got to the end of the season and it was a disappointing end to the season, and we were say just survive relegation, or we're in the bottom half and playing some terrible stuff, and a good manager did come along, it would definitely be something that the owners would have to think about.
What makes me laugh is you look at Newcastle, they've got this, backed by the Arabs, whatever they are, all this big money consortium behind them now, or they're being linked with good managers. I said, hold on, we're like the 5th richest team in the Prem. Who says we can't be linked with that? We had a breakout year. Exactly. You're telling us I love Smith. You're telling me if we get linked with Conte, you wouldn't take that tomorrow. You're telling me if we got linked with Mourinho or whoever.
I don't want Jose, to be honest. I must love him as a manager. He can turn on players. We've seen that before.
I think he's maybe past it a little bit.
Again, I think there's some good managers.
There's definitely good managers available.
Who would you line up as a potential manager?
Steve Bruce, get him back.
Nah, I think. Well, I know it'd be a bit hard, but Nagelsmann from Bayern.
No, he'd never come.
Then. Yeah, the only person I can think of is Eddie Howe.
I would go Fonseca.
Yeah.
Or someone like that. Maybe
John Terry.
There's a couple of Galtier. There's a few good ones in France, but
Galtier, is he saying it's it?
I think he's at Lyon now.
Lyon.
He was at Lille, I think, when they won the league. But he left.
No, I'd take Graham Potter all day long.
Graham Potter would be good.
But then everyone's saying they don't want to see us play 5 at the back, and guess who plays 5 at the back?
Graham
Potter plays 5 at the back.
Yeah, but
I don't have a problem with the system. I don't mind us playing 5 at the back. Because rejig it. Just rejig it. If it's not working after like 20 minutes, just all right, let's revert to 4-4-2. Make a sub early. Big deal. We're not going to criticize Smith if he does that. I mean,
exactly.
It depends how you implement the system. I've seen plenty of teams play 5-4-1, for example, but play that in a very attacking way. It can be an attacking system. It doesn't matter. But people think, 5-3-2 is defensive, or 4-3-3 is attacking. It doesn't. It depends how you implement it, and that's where the issues lie. But all right, we'll wrap it up. So the question this week, as Noah has put forward, is how many points are we going to get in our next 4 matches? That's West Ham, Southampton,
Brighton and Palace.
So let us know in the comments, and please like and subscribe. We really appreciate all your comments, and everyone subscribing, liking. It really helps us out. We've got some good stuff around the corner, some surprises that we can't let you know yet, but It's coming, so please stay tuned.
I don't even know these surprises. What
No, you don't. No, we're keeping them.
Scotty has contacts on the sound.
Scotty's surprises.
Look, if only I had contacts, but no, Noah's got some good stuff in the works for us. So stay tuned. Up the Villa, and let's hope for a turnaround in fortune against West Ham next week. Yeah. Good to have you on again, boys.
Pleasure as always, mate.
Enjoy the fact that lockdown's coming to an end over in Melbourne.
It's gone. What is lockdown?
Excellent stuff. And we'll see you all next week. Catch you later.
See you guys.
Boys. Catch ya.